हमारे घर में से 6 पीढ़ी में कोई नहीं गया फोर्सेस में, एंड शी इज द फर्स्ट वन टू गेट इनटू इट, एंड दैट टू टॉप इन इंडिया.
Jai Hind and welcome to the first episode of Voice of Red Hackle. To highlight the untold stories of cadets, today we have ex-NCC cadet Riya Dagar from Mata Sundari College of 2 Delhi Girls Battalion. Ma'am has secured All India Rank 1 in AFCAT examination, and not just this, she is the first one from her family to make it to the armed forces. So let's dive into the tale of perseverance and resilience. Jai Hind ma'am. Thank you for joining us today. On behalf of National Cadet Corps and Team Voice of Red Hackle, I extend my warmest welcome to you. We are honored to have you today.
Jai Deepak, thank you so much for having me today. I'm looking forward to a great conversation between us.
And first of all, I want to congratulate you on getting All India Rank 1 in AFCAT examination. That's a huge thing in itself.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, ma'am, before we talk about your AFCAT preparations, your NCC journey, could you please get us through your family background and initial stages of education?
If I talk about my initial stages of education, then I have done my education from Victoria Girls Senior Secondary School.
Okay.
Since 5th standard, I am in the same school till 12th standard.
It's in Delhi only?
Yeah, it's in Delhi only. It's Tisazali, near Kashmiri Gate.
Alright.
Yes. So it's a Christian minority school. So
Okay.
yeah, partly Christian. And then for my family background, I come from a total civilian background.
Okay.
And I am born and brought up in Delhi. And yeah, I live in a joint family.
So, ma'am, it amazes me that you come from a completely civil background. So, what was that major factor of motivation, behind joining armed forces?
To be very honest, it's NCC. I've always had that attraction in me towards the uniform, I would say. Not the culture, not the organization, just the uniform, When I was in school, then I heard from someone that army or forces is not for girls. Since coming from a civilian background, I had no idea. So I was like, okay, I dropped that plan, and then when I came into college, I saw that girls are wearing uniform. So I was like, if I cannot go in the forces, why not do this for 3 years, like that.
Okay.
So NCC, then after getting into NCC, learned a lot of things, and that has been the turning point, I would say.
Okay. So, ma'am, coming forward to your college days, you mentioned that you saw girls in the college, wearing uniforms. So, was it the time that you decided you will go for NCC?
When I went into college, I was looking for any form of society. In school, I did not have that much extracurricular things. So I had this preconception in my mind that when I go into college, I'll explore. I'll just explore. I took maths honors because I was good in maths.
Okay.
Took that course, and then when I was looking for different societies, with my friend, I saw this NCC thing as I just mentioned. So I went for that. From there on, never looked back.
Okay. So, ma'am, could you please take us, through your NCC journey, the camps you attended, the fests you have been to?
Yes. So NCC, it has been a roller coaster journey. Full of ups, full of downs. I think it's same with every cadet. All of us feels that we're on cloud 9 someday, and some days are very much that we need so much support from other people as well. So for my journey, I participated in the first fest when I was in my first year, and it was a failure. We failed miserably in the first fest ever of my life, and then I was so disheartened because I was good in drill, and I looked forward that I am good in this, so I think we can do this. Doing this together, I think we'll do great. But then we failed, so that was a failure, I would say. And then my seniors were good, they motivated me. Then I went for CM Rally, got to know about CM Rally, went for that. So in CM Rally, I participated in the drill again, and I was the right marker of the contingent. So then my drill again shaped a little, and stamina also increased during that 1 month camp. After that, I immediately went for RDC, and I did not even knew about RDC previously. So I just went for it, and one of my senior told me that that Kartavya Day parade. I just asked randomly that I've seen NCC contingents also going there. How does it go? What's the procedure to do that march? So she told me that it's through this camp RDC and all. So So I was like, okay, let me know when the selection comes, right? I'd like to give a try. So when I got to know about it, got into it, then pre-RDCs were like full of Josh, all the things that were there to boost our stamina, to boost our morale, and that unity, discipline, all that came in the pre-RDs. Then we went to the final cadre. It's completely different. Previously we were having pre-RDs of 10 days, maximum 10 days. Then the final camp was of a 1 month thing. I was away from my family for the first time. So initial days were emotional as well. Like we were missing family. We were enjoying at the same time, but it was there. The void was there somewhere. Then we made bonds there, really good bonds, made good friends that are still together with me. NCC gave me gems.
It's the place where friendship blossoms.
Yes, it gave me gems. So then time management, yeah. So I am not a morning person, not at all. When I went into RD, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. That was a task for me. Then I somehow managed that. Then for Rajpath, when I got selected for Rajpath, I had to wake up at 2:30 a.m. That's like midnight. And I was like, how is this even possible? How am I going to do this? Or
how will I wake up?
Exactly. How will we wake up? But then eventually when everyone was doing it and the motivation to go to Rajpath, that was everything. So waking up from that time, then finishing our meals in 5 minutes, getting ready in 10 minutes with all that figure of 8, everything. So time management was there, and then the stamina thing was there. Then after that, I thought that I'm done with the camps now. Like half of my NCC journey was in camps. Then I thought now I would like to impart the knowledge that I gained from the camps to my juniors, so that they will gain something from my experiences. So that's how it went for me.
Exactly. For city kids, it's really hard to wake up at 2:30. It's the time when they sleep actually.
Exactly.
It's happening with the youngsters nowadays.
It was the real me. I was like, that 2:30 I sleep at 2 generally at home. How will I wake up at 2:30?
There's no time for sleep.
Exactly. But the Rajpath, I would say, when we first went there, it was, I still remember the date. It was 16th of January 2019. And in the main RD contingent, all of us were there. Like I was there in the front file because of my short height. That's also a funny story, I would say. Initially, yes, like initially, I was so anxious. I'll say that I have a short height, and this was this preconception that for Kartavya Path Parade they only select the height matters and all, because you need to carry rifle for so long. So there was this thing in the mind of people, and I was also impacted by that. So when I practiced for it, I just had this one thing in mind that let's get into it somehow, anyhow. So pre-RDs were a little stressful because of that thing. But when I went for the main camp, when we were having all India selections for the Kartavya Path Parade, I was among the first of the cadets who got selected for that, like in the first group.
Great.
So, and then after that, when I got my position in the contingent, it was in the front file. So I was feeling so blessed because of this short height. Walking on
Kartavya Path, that on the front file. So yeah,
exactly.
It's a matter of honor.
Like it was a responsibility as well, because then we need to keep up the pace. We need to be the one who are there in the front. So we need to lead the contingent typically. But it was hell of an experience. Then there were people like behind me. There was this one cadet from Jammu and Kashmir. On the right side of me, there was cadets from Gujarat, from Rajasthan. People who have never seen India Gate, And then when we were there morning 5 a.m. When we were marching, it was all foggy in Delhi, right? So when we were marching towards the Rajpath, then slowly India Gate was visible. Very slowly.
Okay.
So all of us, like we were Delhi cadets, so we were very normal. The reaction was very normal.
Exactly.
But the cadets, the other ones, they started, hooting, like,
India Gate
yes, it's India Gate. And then we were like, kya, what? Ye log kyun kar rahe hain? And then when we realized, oh, it's for their first time. And how it turns out, I still remember that thing, it's coming out slowly. There were people all around us, cameras and all. In the morning itself, there were people, when we marched, cars stopped by the end, and everyone was just cheering us, motivating us.
Okay, that's something unforgettable.
Yes, it was very, very nice.
So ma'am, as you mentioned that RTC has been a turning point in your life.
Yeah.
So what was that major source there?
major source, one was this parade,
Okay.
and the other was there was some inspiring personality I met during that journey. You know, when we got selected for the contingent, we were typically stranded off from the other DGNCC camp because everyone else was doing a lot of other things, like flag area was there and too much competitions, culturals were there, people are going enjoying. We were there, we were doing parades all day. Some inspiring personality that came. I remember one incident. Back then in 2019, Lieutenant Bhavna Kasturi ma'am, she visited us. So we were all tired, 5 p.m. We were marching since 7 a.m. and then it's 5 p.m. We're all tired. So we were like, okay, let's listen, okay. And then when she came by and we got to know that she was the first woman to lead all men contingent on Kartavya. The inspiration, the motivation, the way she motivated us, that was like total morale high. From zero, we were totally tired, and then we got so much joy that we were like, we can do one more round. Let's go to one more round. So personalities were there, and then seeing so many different kinds of equipments on the Kartavya Path. We saw Pinaka missile system, we saw so much things. That was so inspiring. The culture, the way it was so attractive. So that was there.
So ma'am, talking about your NCC journey, you led it for 3 years. So what are the major changes you see in your personality?
Talking about the changes, when I was in school, I was a very introverted kid. Like I was the commerce topper of my school, and my principal didn't even knew me. Like when she was giving me the trophy, she was like, "You were in commerce? You were in high school?"
Who's this girl?
Yeah, in the final batch, and I was like, "Yes, ma'am."
Okay.
Because I was more of a backbencher. Like I was that type of kid who knew all the answers but never stood up in the class. Like didn't had that much confidence to say something publicly. So when I got into NCC, initial NCC years were the same. Like I was in drill, so I just had to perform, nothing to speak, no one to speak to. So in the back seat only. Then after doing RD, like RD was there when I conversed with a lot of people, some high-ranking officials. So there I gained a little confidence, talking to other people. But then after coming out of that, when I talk to more people, like now I have something to share, I need to share the knowledge. So when I talked in front of my juniors, in front of other people, my family was very proud. We went to the president house. So they were telling this to everyone, every relative and all that. She had a tea with the president and all like that.
Okay.
So my grandfather, he flexed a lot. So he was doing
No, that's huge. He should be.
So he was doing that, and my parents were also very happy. My brother was very happy. So we were telling everyone. Then I had to share all the thing I learned, and then there was this thing that now I did something, so I need to be up to this mark. So that gradually I developed the confidence, and then after going from NCC, like after passing out, even it was not just an NCC that I would say, but then after passing out, I had this thing with me. Like NCC gave me that thing that now I can speak. At least I can speak, not with confidence, if I would say, but at least I can speak. Then going into SSB, it teaches everything. It's a hell of experience in SSB. So my first interview was not that much. I would say I was decent, not that much confident that I am now. But then gradually it improved. So NCC gave me that.
Okay, that's great, ma'am. So ma'am, now coming to aspirant phase. So like, how many times you have written AFCAT or CV? So like, you've been to SSB.
Okay, so when I passed out, it was COVID, right? So we got our C certificates late. I got it in 2021, that too like in Jan, Feb. And then the Jan NCC entry was almost on the verge. And I was not that much prepared, so I thought I'll not fill this. And then the other one came, when I made good friends, like NCC mates for life. So there were some people, my good friends, who told me that at least go for it, at least give it a try. So then I went for it, and so I filled the second one. In 2021, I filled the September NCC one. So I got recommended from that. So I was all chilled out.
The very first attempt.
Yeah, that was, I got recommended. So
Okay.
my family was very chilled out, I was very chilled out that ab to ho gaya hai. But then the merit came out. So when the merit came out, and yes, this was experience from NCC. there was a GT officer. So he told me one thing, like he said that it's a great thing to come from NCC entry and all, and I think you did well. You are a good candidate, but you should try for written entries because there are more vacancies. He just said that. So I had this thing in my mind, but then I was like, let's see after the merit. So when the merit came out, I got merit out. So then I thought, now let's focus on the written part. After that, I started giving written seriously. I was giving it pehle se hi because of my friends, because of my NCC friends. They like that, but I was not serious about it. So then I prepared for the 2022 one. I did not clear it. I was doing hard work, I'll say, not smart study. Didn't analyze the paper, nothing, just preparing for it. Then the second came, 2022, second AFCAT. So I cleared that AFCAT. That was also by mistake. Like I cleared the exam by normalization. Normalization concept just came in, and I got 20 marks plus in the normalization. So I cleared the exam. That too, like
20 marks in normalization.
Yeah, like
You're lucky enough.
probably had the toughest shift. So then when that came out, then I was like, I still cleared on the margin because I was having my examination, post-graduation examination side by side. So my family told me that you've cleared the exam, go for it, at least go for the SSB, try how it works in the written ones. You've been through the direct one, so try for the written one as well.
Exactly.
Went for it, had a great experience in AFSB. So then got recommended for that, but I was knowing it that this time I will not make it. I was only eligible for administration and logistics. The seats were like 2 seats for administration all India, 2 seats for logistics all India. So very high competition. So I was knowing it deep down that this time I will not able to make it. But coming back from that SSB from Dehradun, I made something stick to me that this time I'll clear the written and I'll clear both the writtens with good marks. I came straight back home, started preparing for it, took help from friends, seniors, whatsoever. Then gave the examinations, clear both of them, AFCAT with a good margin. So then I developed that confidence again. Like now I have cleared the written, now it's just the AFSB part for me.
And I can do this, I've done it before.
Yeah, once I sail through it, I'm done. I'm done. So when I went for the AFSB, it was good, but the more repeater you become, the difficult it gets.
Exactly. It gets more difficult.
Yeah, but it was more or less good. Then after getting that, I was giving medicals. So I was gone through medicals twice before. So I was chill about it. I was like, okay, I'll make it. And I got a TR in the medicals.
Oh.
Yeah, that too for a spinal condition. Like in Air Force, what happens is they don't do this spine X-ray for the ground duty cadets. I was only for ground duty, but they do it for flying cadets. But suddenly they started checking it for ground duty as well.
It was the first time they were doing this.
Yes, and unfortunately I got caught there, and it was like a minor issue. They were just doubtful about something, so they gave me a temporary rejection. And I went for the AMB. Like when I thought finally now it's over, now the struggle period is over, now I can finally relax for a bit, the AMB came for. Then I went for that, then somehow cleared it. So that was also very happy feeling when after clearing it. Then as I mentioned, I cleared the CDS exam that well as that year. So went for the CDS SSP, then made it through that one. Then again got a temporary rejection, medicals from that.
Oh.
Yeah, like it was for digital tremors, very minor issue. So got it cleared, and while I was getting it cleared in the MB, then only I got the merit for this Air Force thing, and yeah, that's how it shaped up.
That has been a roller coaster journey, I would say.
Yes.
So, yeah, but finally you made it.
Yes.
That's the best part.
Now it's done.
Now it's done.
Yes.
So, yeah.
One part of it is done.
It feels so relaxing, right?
Yes, it does.
So ma'am, talking about aspirants, so they get a lot of family pressure, peer pressure, societal pressure. So they get so much stressed after failing multiple times or not making it out. So did it happen with you, or if it did, so how did you manage it?
See, it happens with everyone, I would say. Like no one is, it's inevitable. The pressure that is inevitable. Either it's from family, it's from society, anywhere. But I'm very lucky that I got a very supportive family. Everyone in my family, my grandfather, my parents, they have been like the pillar of my strength. My brother as well. He is younger to me, but he was there to, handle the ladder for me, to get me up. So he was the pillar, I would say, my parents as well. So they were very supportive when I first told them that I want to get into forces. There were no one in my family in forces. So they were like, okay, if you want to, then if you are very serious about it, then do it seriously. If you're doing it, then do it seriously. Don't take it as just a thing you got from NCC. Then I was like, okay. So it was from their motivation. They motivated me to do it much better. Then I thought that now, since they have provided me so much support, so I need to do it now. And my friends, as I mentioned, they were very supportive. But the peer pressure was there a little bit after getting merit out twice. Though I was knowing the result, but still it feels bad because I was knowing it deep down that I'll get merit out or something. But my family, they were having expectations.
Yeah, she'll make it.
Yes, like they were like, why are you losing hope and all? And I was like, I'm not losing hope. I'm being tactical. Family has been very supportive, but definitely there was some peer pressure. Like I felt myself that will I able to make it after it's been 2 years. So I was like, should I take a corporate job instead? Should I do, because I was thinking I'm the elder one in my family.
Okay.
So I need to support them as well. I cannot just stick to one thing if I'm not able to doing it. So there were times when there were breakdowns. So my family was there then for me. They were like, we'll handle everything. You go, you give this. What you have thought, you just go with this. Else we'll handle.
That's great. Having a supportive family also played a vital role in your journey.
Yes.
So, ma'am, if you talk about SSB again, so was there any point where you felt that NCC has significantly helped you in as your SSB or in interview, maybe in GT or psych?
It's definitely there. In psych, if I will say, there are stories. Some stories related to mountaineering. Some stories when there is a girl fighting or something. Even NCC stories are there.
Exactly.
There was this one picture that came in my SSB. It was like cavalry picture, like some men on horses. So I immediately thought of President's Bodyguard. So I made a story on Republic Day and all, because that's what I have experienced, and that what eventually came to my mind. And in interview as well, there was this one time when the interviewing officer was asking random questions like what is the biggest challenge you have faced, or what is the thing that you thought you were not able to do but you did it, and what was the most exciting thing you did. So these 3-4 questions, and all the answers were Sir Rajput Parade, Sir Rajput Parade, Sir Rajput Parade. And then he was like, okay, I got it. So RDC gave me some really good experiences to tell to the officer as well, so that helped me becoming confident and comfortable in the interview, and that also built that interactive stage in the interview. In GT camps, of course, in camps what we do, we stick together. We have one goal, we need to go towards that.
Exactly.
That's what we need to do in GT, in PGT, in HGT. We're a team. So that unity thing, that's from NCC motto, unity and discipline. That unity thing came from there. We had to stick with the group. We need to accomplish a goal together. So that all helped me a lot.
That was instilled there.
Yes.
Exactly. So, ma'am, is there any unforgettable moment or story you want to share about your SSB?
Unforgettable. Okay, yes, there was this one story. It's quite a funny one actually.
Okay.
So what happened with me? It was in the previous year's AFSB, Dehradun. So I was there the first day. In AFSB, what happens is, in the very first day, they conduct your psychology test.
Exactly.
So after the screening, I was there for the psychology test. Then the next day, and they give you this whole schedule. When is your interview schedule? When will be your GT and all? Because it's not like a typical thing like in army SSBs. It's scheduled previously. Like in day 3 you'll have GT, in day 4 you'll have GT, day 5 conference, and that's all. But in AFSB it's totally different. So I had my interview on day 3 and GTs on day 4 and day 5 along with conference on the 5th day. So the second day I was free, so I played a lot. When I was tired, when I have exhausted the whole day, I thought tomorrow is my interview. Now I'll just prepare something in the night. I'll just take a look back and then I'll sleep peacefully. So when I was about to get my notebook from my bag, on my trolley bag, my bottle was there. It was a hard plastic bottle. So I just kept it there aside from my bag, and I touched it and it fell on my foot.
Oh.
Yes, like on my a little above on my ankle. Okay, it fell down, and then I thought it's just a bottle. I just picked it up, put it again on the bag, and took my notebook out. And I walked from one side of my bed to the other side, and my leg was swollen, like completely swollen. I was paining so much. It was 11 p.m. in the night. My roommates immediately like came to me when I said like, "Nahin, bahut dard ho raha hai." So they called the auntie from the MI room. Then she came. She gave me ice pack. It was November, Dehradun ice pack. I had to put that ice pack whole night. Then the next day, when I had my interview, I went for the SMB. Then first of all, there's this thing called like in NCC we have fall-ins, right? So there was like that in AFSB. You have fallen in the morning, you have fallen in the evening. So our DSO ma'am, she was very sweet. So she was asking randomly like any problem, any suggestions you guys have, anyone sick or any injury. So I rose my hand and then I said, "Ma'am, I have a foot injury." So she said, "Okay, I said, "Yes, but was you playing too much?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." "You got injury from which sport?" I said, "No, ma'am, not from any sport." Then
From a bottle.
then she said, "Okay, then how did you got injured? Is your leg twisted or something?" I said, "Ma'am, my bottle fell on my foot." And then everyone was seeing me like this. And then DSO ma'am, like, she hesitated for a moment and then she said, "Okay, come outside." Then when she saw me walking, I was not able to walk. Then she realized that it's something serious. So she called the sir and then she asked him to take me to the SMB. Then he took me to the medical officer. So he saw my foot and then he said that I have soft tissue tear. From a bottle, I got a soft tissue tear. So he was also shocked, kind of, that it is just from a bottle. And then the officer said, "When is your GT over?" And I said, "No, sir, I still have my GT pending." They said, "What do you have today?" I said, "Sir, interview." He said, "Okay, then do full rest today, and then let's hope tomorrow it will be fine. But it will take some time because it's a tissue tear." So I went back. Then the interviewing officer was also informed that she went to the medical room and she'll be late for the interview. So that was a perk actually because I did not have to wait. I did not have to wait in the interviewing room. So then I went directly to the interviewing room and then when I walked in, I was not able to walk. So and in AFSB that time, because of COVID, it was mandatory to carry your own bottle. So I was carrying the same bottle. So I walked in the room and then he said, "You went to the medical officer. What happened?" I said, "Sir, this bottle fell on my foot and I got injured." So he laughed a little bit and he said, "Put that bottle aside first of all." So I put it on the other.
It's not good for you.
Yeah, I put it on the other corner of the table and I sat down. He said, "So what injury is it? Is it something serious?" I said, "Sir, it's a soft tissue tear." And he said, "How will you be able to do GT?" I said, "Sir, I'll see, I'll manage somehow." So that's how the interview started actually, with a laugh when we went inside. Then the next day when I need to go to the GT, then again I went to the medical officer in the morning for dressing and all. So I went there, he gave me some painkillers and then the other sir who was there with me, the staff, he asked, "Sir, will she be able to do the GT?" Then the officer said, "It will be difficult, she will not be able to run, but let's see then how she takes this." So when he was taking me back to the GT ground, he asked me, "Do you think we need to send you back home?" I was like, "No, sir, please don't at least send me back home."
I'll manage somehow.
I'll manage somehow, exactly.
So ma'am, you're the first one from my family to make it to the armed forces. So I'm quite curious to know, how are their reactions when they got to know that you are all India rank 1 in AFCAT examination?
So when the merit came in, I was for the AMB in base hospital, Delhi camp, and one of my friend called me. She just said topper, and then I was like, "Kya?" And then she said it again, and then I was like, "Mujhe nahi samajh aa raha." So she was like, "Order of merit aa gayi." And then I was like, "Give me a second." Then I was shivering, literally shivering when I opened the merit and I saw my name on top. I was expecting till like in top 10 because I had a good AFCAT score, but I was not expecting AIR-1, of course. So I was just shivering. Then everyone around me, they were strangers for me. I just met them a day before, so I didn't know how to express that in front of them. But then they also understood it very quickly. SSB experience. So then I called my family. So I did not saw their reaction as face to face, But when I heard their voice on call, when I told them, I could see that it was all teary and emotional. Everyone was emotional. When I called my friends who were there for me, and they were also very emotional. So I kept shivering for like half an hour, and then I was normalized. Then when I went back home, my mother was there standing and taking a thal of aarti. So she did that, and that was like hell of an experience. I would say, like, yeah, I was all emotional at that point of time. Everyone was so happy. They were like, finally, it's happening now. It's real now. I was not even able to believe it for a while. Then my grandfather said it in front of a lot of people. He sits with a lot of people because he's retired right now. So he said that हमारे घर में से 6 पीढ़ी में कोई नहीं गया forces में, and she's the first one to get into it, and that too topping India.
It's a matter of pride.
Yeah, so the pride they were taking it now, they are more than happy, and I am happy for them actually. I'm not even that much happy if it's not for them. They're doing so many things. They're so excited to do it. So I like it's their moment. They should enjoy each and every one of it. And now when I look back towards my journey, I feel that it was for good that I did not made it the last time when I was 26 in the AFCAT examination, because if I could have, then I didn't know how it feels like to be an AIR-1.
Exactly, witnessing such reaction from your family, so it feels like, yeah, all those efforts were worth it.
Exactly, they were. Everything is worth it. It's God plan.
Exactly. So, ma'am, there are a lot of aspirants in our audience, So, what's gonna be your piece of advice for them?
For the people who are preparing for forces, I would like to say if they have even direct entries, they should always go for the written ones as well. Like, you cannot just stick to one kind of entry in this aspect, like especially for girls, because the vacancies are very less. So they should try for written entries for CDS, for AFCAT, any kind of entry. And now NDA is also open for girls. So written thing is one, and another for SSB perspective, as I mentioned previously, that once you become a repeater, the more SSBs you go to, the more difficult it becomes, because the group now, everyone in the group knows everything. They know how to go through the GT process, especially for the GT process. For interview, I think you get better every time, because now you know what kind of questions will be asked, what is the pattern set. But for GT, it becomes difficult. So it's very important to gel up with the group members, and I think NCC teaches us that very well. Because this is what we're doing here in camps and even in college life. We're just making bonds everywhere we go, all India bonds. Even we have friends from all over India, right? So that is there. And another thing is, one should be confident. Whatever they are doing, if people who are in NCC and they are going to this, they should be confident enough, because they are in the right organization right now. There's so much to explore in NCC. It's not just RD. It was RD for me because I was interested in drill. If someone is interested in any other thing, let it be firing or something, they can go for Thal Sainik camp. There are so many camps in NCC these days. So many exposure to have. So people who are in NCC, they have the right organization as holding their back. So I think they just have to believe in themselves. That's all.
So yeah, that's all from my side, ma'am. So thank you so much for joining us today. I really loved every bit of it. Your journey is so inspiring, and I hope your voice continues to inspire cadets across the nation. Thank you for joining in, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.